Ahead on primetime, water rose for many across the island, even forcing a couple of schools to let out early today. Plus, a family is left picking up the pieces after the damage caused by the recent heavy rainfall. And the corrections officers and staff recently arrested in that major contraband bus won't be allowed to return to work just yet.
Half-a-day and good evening.
7 of the island's water wells go offline in a period of 24 hours. The issue has Guam Waterworks crews working around the clock to get it fixed.
As Isa Baz reports, the problem even forcing Guam DOE today to cancel classes at 2 public schools.
Schools were forced to close early Monday morning, including PC Lujan Elementary School and Teedzin High School. DOE's headquarters in Teedzin, including buildings A and C, were also forced to close. The issue, no water.
Over the weekend, there was some pretty bad weather, thunderstorms and lightning, and that adverse weather had an effect on several of our production wells.
In fact, Guam Waterworks Authority General Manager Miguel Berdalio said in a period of 24 hours, 7 wells went offline.
We were able to restore service to all wells except for one, which sustained some damage to the pump and motor, which requires replacement now. So crews are working currently to get that well replaced, and they'll work continuously until we get it back in line. That particular well is serving the Barragata Heights area, which is also affecting Teedzin.
While most wells have been restored, a main break on a major transmission line in Jigo Sunday night wasn't repaired until 2 a.m., leaving reservoir levels low Monday morning.
And so as a result, this morning there were some low pressure and then service outage areas. So we do anticipate with the wells being back online that we will be able throughout the day to restore levels in the reservoir. But it didn't happen last night.
Berdalio says critical wells are being put onto generator power to avoid issues associated with heavy weather, adding the issue is complicated by the fact that one Teedzin well remains offline after being shut down for contamination last year.
Good news is that the southern areas, even with all this heavy rain, we've managed to keep UGAM up and running. We still have high turbidity issues, but we've maintained our water levels down there, so we haven't lost service in the south.
As for whether or not classes will begin Tuesday, DOE Deputy Superintendent Erica Cruz said DOE is in communication with GWA and will inform stakeholders early Tuesday morning on whether or not PC Lujan Elementary School and Teedzin High School will reopen. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Isa Baza.
From no water to just too much of it, the heavy rains hit areas around the island hard, leaving behind a wet mess for many.
And over the weekend, it was a complete nightmare for one Umatic family whose home was victim to flash flooding.
An entire home flooded.
You couldn't tell what's the river and what's the road. It was just one big lake. I call it the Ginayat Lake now. And it was very dangerous. The entire yard, my yard, was covered with water. And when I got the call from my wife, the entire family was up on the bridge because it was too dangerous to come back down to the house.
Mark Crisostomo lives in a beautiful home just feet from the Umatic Bridge. But on Saturday afternoon, his home was overrun with water during the recent storm surge.
Eventually, the water found a way in the house. So there was water and mud all throughout the house, all the way back to the master bedroom.
While Crisostomo's belongings may have been damaged, he's thankful that his animals and most importantly his family are safe.
The major one was on Saturday, and then just this morning at 1:30 we got a knock on the door from the mayor saying, hey, the river is rising. And then when I went to the back, the entire back kitchen was just flooded again.
As you can see, the flooding was roughly 2 to 3 feet high, sweeping debris, including household plants and even a car, hundreds of feet down past the Umatic Bridge. Umatic Mayor Johnny Kanata says his staff had to pull the Jeep from the ocean.
All of a sudden, the water picked up the Jeep, hit this tree right here, and then went into the bridge, and then the windshield just cracked and went underneath. And then when they told me the Jeep was out in the water, I called Public Works, and then we pulled it in with a chain and rope.
His staff also assisted the family throughout the weekend. He believes erosion is contributing to the flooding, adding the river needs to be deepened.
I've been talking to them about it, and the Army Corps, I don't know how they're going to fix this. I'm calling out, even to the governor to help us down here to stop this flooding of this house and the neighbors, because it's really, really, really bad.
This is a first experience for us, and it's something we never went through, so we're kind of like still in shock. I think if they dig the river deeper, I think, and maintain that depth, then I think we should be fine.
Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Isa Baza.
Late this afternoon, Guam EPA also issuing an advisory for the Tongan River and Bay in Umatic due to the bypass of partially treated sewage from GWA's Umatic Maritza wastewater treatment plant. Swimming, fishing, or playing in the polluted waters, officials say may cause illness and should be avoided.
Weather officials are suggesting that people stay out of the water for the next couple of days and also keep that umbrella handy. Guam, Rota, Tinian, and Saipan can expect scattered showers, isolated thunderstorms, and occasional heavy rain due to a system north of Saipan. NWS also issued a small craft advisory for Guam and Rota until 4 a.m. Wednesday. Southwesterly winds of 19 to 29 miles per hour are expected. Inexperienced boaters, especially those operating smaller vessels, should avoid sailing in these conditions. A former longtime Guam resident who now lives in Houston has been chronicling the battering by Hurricane Harvey. Carl Stewart says flooding is the biggest problem, forcing many from their homes. But he also noticed the disasters bringing people together. Stewart says there had been growing racial tensions in the city because of national events, but residents seem to be putting that aside to help one another.
Coming from Guam and seeing the way that, when something happens, how we just get in and just start helping, same thing here in Texas.
Stewart adds that while the government response has been good, he feels many people weren't fully prepared or took the storm for granted.
Even though the National Weather Service and people were telling people, that this is going to be a bad one, I think people kind of really were kind of whimsy-daisy about, we've been through these things before.
Stewart worked in local radio, including here at KUAM, and was also employed for many years with Continental Micronesia. He has lived in Houston for the last 19 years.
Houston's two major airports have been closed due to Hurricane Harvey. United Airlines issuing a statement announcing that flights to and from the city are canceled until 9 a.m. Tuesday Guam time. Hundreds of flights are impacted, including those originating from the territory. United saying it is closely monitoring the weather situation and encourages customers traveling via Houston over the next several days to check its website at united.com for the latest updates and developments. Well, the 5 DEP Corps officers charged in a scheme to bring contraband into the prison have been placed on administrative leave with pay. This according to DEP Corps Deputy Director Kate Baltazar. The action took effect on Friday, the same day the prison launched its internal affairs investigation. As reported, a shakedown of the prison last week uncovered inmates in possession of cell phones. Phone records showed conversations or text messages with DOC officers Frankie Roslin, Jeff Limo, Furman Maritita, Edward Crisostomo, and Jerry Hokok, who were subsequently arrested and charged. All 5 were placed on house arrest while they wait for their next court appearance on September 14th. Crisostomo, who also faces federal charges for possession of a firearm by a prohibited person, will appear in district court tomorrow. Though Officer Jerome St. Nicholas was also arrested in connection to the case, he wasn't named in court documents or formally charged in court. He too was placed on admin leave with pay.
He was allegedly carrying close to 50 small Ziploc baggies with drug ice. 47-year-old Kenneth George Mariano was parked with another man near the port after hours when they were confronted by police. In his possession, Mariano had glass pipes, drug paraphernalia, and another Ziploc baggie with unknown pills. He reportedly admitted the items were his and confirmed they were in fact crystal methamphetamine. Mariano was arrested and charged with possession of a controlled substance with intent to deliver as a first-degree felony.
Well, this year, Guam plays host to the 46 Pacific Islands Chief of Police 2017 Conference. The 3-day conference began today at the Nico Hotel in Tumon. This year's theme is Mandaña Isla Pacifico, which means Pacific Islands Together. GPD's Chief of Police J.I. Cruz is hosting a dinner this evening for the over 20 visiting Chief of Police from the PICP members countries. The overall goal for the conference is to encourage collaboration and the best practices, focusing on community-oriented policing throughout all of the Pacific.
Stick around for more news here on Primetime.
You're watching KUAM.
Have you gotten paid yet? That's the premium automatic insurance deduction plan from Calvo's Insurance. Paid simplifies your home and auto insurance. No down payment. No more long lines. And you can stretch your payments up to 12 months. Paid is convenient. It deducts from your payroll, your checking account, or your credit card. With Paid, you get up to 65% off your car insurance and enjoy lifestyle club discounts. Life can be easier when you get paid.
Call Calvo's Insurance today and save on your home and auto insurance.
This is Tabby. Tabby's service provider is IT&E. This allows her to walk on campus without having to rely on Wi-Fi.
Hey, Emmy. Hey, I switched to IT&E student plan just like you. I love how affordable their plan is. I'm so glad I switched to IT&E. What?
Get up to 5 gigs a month for just $30 and the first 3 months free at IT&E.
Hyundai's summer clearance event is happening now. KUAM's best dealership, Cars Plus and Mighty, with financing as low as 1.99%. There's no better time to drive a new Hyundai Accent, ranked highest in initial quality, starting at just $11,995. Or the new Hyundai Elantra, starting at $16,995. SUV lovers, check out the new Hyundai Tucson, starting at $19,995. Plus, every new Hyundai gets KUAM's best warranty, 10 years, 100,000 miles. It's our Hyundai summer clearance event, going on now at Cars Plus and Mighty. Cars Plus, driven by you.
Oh! Ruby Tuesday puts the O in dinner combos with Garden Bar Plus entrees for only $20.99. Choose salmon moco, petite sirloin, or pesto chicken pasta. Only at Ruby Tuesday. Oh!
For 20 years, Matson has been an important part of our everyday lives. Bringing in the cars we drive, the food we eat, and the materials that helped build our homes. From caring for our land through the Adaki Itano program to generously supporting our local charities, Matson has contributed to the preservation and growth of our island. On behalf of those you've served throughout your 20 years on Guam, Kidzas Ma'asi, Matson.
Connect with KUAM News. Find us on your favorite social media platform. Follow us and stay in the know with Guam's news leader.
Another alleged victim of clergy sex abuse files suit in the District Court of Guam. 61-year-old AJA now lives in Las Vegas but grew up in Guam. When he was about 9 years old, he alleges he was sexually molested by Father Antonio Cruz of Our Lady of Peace and Safe Journey in Chalampago. Court documents state that the boy's family cooked for the priest and washed his clothes. While delivering the priest's clothes to the rectory, the priest allegedly pulled down his pants and touched his penis. Father Antonio Cruz passed away in the mid-1980s. AJA, who was represented by attorney David Lujan, is suing for $5 million.
While a verdict from his canonical trial in Rome has yet to be reached, we could see progress with the 4 lawsuits lodged against Archbishop Anthony Apurons here at home. The District Court of Guam will hear Apurons' motion to dismiss early Tuesday morning. Defense argues that the claims against him are time-barred, despite recent Guam law that lists the statute of limitations on child sex abuse cases. Because the alleged incidents occurred 40 years ago, defense also argues Apurons is now in advanced age without the benefit of witnesses and without the benefit of records from the 1970s to assist in his defense. Apurons, like previous hearings, isn't required to be present but will be represented by his attorney Jackie Terlahi. The hearing is scheduled to start at 9:30 a.m.
Fired after only weeks on the job as advisors to Coadjutor Archbishop Michael Burns. That was the case for Father Rudy Areola, Monsignor David C. Kitigua, Father Jose Alberto Rodriguez Salamanca, and Father Julio Cesar Sanchez. The Archdiocese of Agana confirms all 4 priests were removed from the Presbyteral Council despite being elected to their posts in June. Concerned Catholics of Guam President David Sablan says the priests betrayed the Archbishop's trust. Specifically, Sablan cites a June letter from the 4 priests addressed to Cardinal Ferdinand Filoni in an effort to stop Archbishop Burns' plans to sell the Redemptorist Martyrs Seminary. The profits from the sale will be used to fund the nearly 100 clergy sex abuse lawsuits lodged against the church. The RMS and the priests in question are all linked to the neo-catechumenal way. The church declined to provide reasons for removing the priests from the advisory positions, which took effect in July.
Guam's Employment Non-Discrimination Act may have been established last year, but could there still be some flaws?
That's what one lawmaker believes. As he's introduced legislation he hopes will help to better define gender identity and gender expression. Valerie Maige has the story.
In 1994, Lacia Castle made the difficult decision to leave Guam. She was hired as a waitress at a hotel in Tumon, but was fired shortly after, accused of lying about her gender.
You know, I went through training, and on the day we were supposed to open, I was pulled aside and said that, I was being let go because my job application didn't match my ID.
Lacia is transgender, and there were no laws to protect her from job discrimination.
For people in my position, that means that there's no way for us to seek employment on island. And especially for the trans community, that means they have to seek out fringe opportunities.
Now, 23 years later, and Lacia, the founder of ISA Guam, is running her own business on island, where she says legislation like Senator Joe San Augustine's Bill 164 is welcome progress. Bill 164 broadens on the already existing Guam Employment Non-Discrimination Act. Signed into law last year, he says the language in the law is still ambiguous.
You can't discriminate from sex, so why are you discriminating from transgender?
San Augustine says the legislation is clearly outlined and hopes to, quote, further develop the rights of human beings to equal treatment in government and in public places, end quote. Bill 163 defines sex to include but is not limited to a person's gender, gender identity, or gender expression. The legislation goes even further and defines gender identity or expression to mean a person's actual or perceived gender, gender identity, self-image, or appearance, regardless of whether that gender is associated with their sex at birth.
We're a melting pot on Guam. Transgender, they're part of our community. Same sex, they're all part of the community. We're just one happy island.
Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Valerie Maige.
Thanks, Val. Well, banned for being transgender. That's what will happen by March of next year. President Donald Trump signing a memo implementing his new policy banning transgender people from serving in the U.S. military. The fate of the policy now rests in the hands of the Secretary of Defense and Secretary of Homeland Security. It would also hold the recently implemented policy that allowed for DoD funding to be used by transgender reassignment surgery, with the only exception for all those already in treatment. The March 28th deadline gives officials 7 months to decide how to go about implementing the policy.
The U.S. Navy confirms they have recovered the remains of all 10 USS John S. McCain sailors on board the ship, according to the information from the Commander U.S. 7th Fleet website. The McCain, a Yokosuka-based guided missile destroyer, was involved in a collision with the oil tanker Alnic MC in waters east of Singapore and the Strait of Malacca last week, Monday. This is the second incident involving a Navy destroyer in just less than 3 months. It was in June the USS Fitzgerald crashed into a Philippine-flagged container ship, killing 7 sailors. The commander of naval operations has called for an operational pause following this most recent collision. U.S. Naval Base Guam will hold a memorial service for the USS John McCain at noon on Wednesday at the base chapel.
Well, coming up, Dave has your weekend roundup in sports, but first, a look at weather.
From the network that brought you up to 3 times more data comes the dawn of a new data. The epic story of Guam's only network brave enough to give 10 free gigs of bonus data on every line every month to customers who bundle their services. Reviewers are calling the offer totes awesome. Best deal ever. And yes.
Visit GTA.net for details.
A wise man once said that life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it. You don't always see that 10% coming. When you get hurt or feel the devastation. For over 40 years, Alpha Insurers reacts quickly for you to provide you with peace of mind. Always. Alpha Insurers. Protecting your good things in life.
At Shell, it's about offering more than just fuel. It's about providing service to people. From hot coffees to warm welcomes, from clean bathrooms to fresh food, we're on a mission to make you leave happier than when you arrived. So whatever your journey, we're here. Welcome to service. Welcome to Shell. Serving the islands for over 30 years. Share your story at Shell Foodies Guam on Instagram and Facebook. Hashtag Station Stories, hashtag Shell Guam.
How do you show up? Do you just bring it? Or do you bring it all?
Don't kiss. You gotta go.
Third row like a pro. Step up to GMC with 15% below MSRP on all 2017 Acadia SLT models. That's nearly $7,000 below MSRP on this Acadia.
Visit AutoSpot GMC today.
KUAM Sports is presented by Triple J.
What's up, Guam? Dave Delgado here for KUAM Sports. Thanks for watching. I'll get to some high school sports in just a bit, along with some NFL highlights between the 49ers and Vikings. But first off, Pacific Games news, as Guam already submitted their bid. Now it's a waiting game to see if the money's right. Guam's bid to host the 2019 Pacific Games has been submitted to the Pacific Games Council. Guam is one of 3 countries who have expressed interest and is in running with Samoa to get the job done. The last time Guam hosted the games was back in 1999. Governor Calvo supports the opportunity to host the games in 2019, but the decision now rests with the legislature to approve the budget on the Pacific Games.
We leave here reasonably hopeful that a solution can be found, because I think the people of Guam, through their sports federations here and through the government people that we've met, I think understand the value that the games would bring and would like to see them come back here. It's been a long time, since 1999.
President Vide Lakan, along with CEO Andrew Minogue, completed the 2-day visit to the island to check out all proposed competition venues and the Leo Palace Resort as a possible site for the Athletes Village. Lakan and Minogue will present the report to the Pacific Games Council Executive Board and make a decision by the end of the week.
Very much impressed with what we've seen. All the facilities that is being proposed for the 2019 games, should Guam be successful, are excellent. There's 1 or 2, maybe a little bit of more seating, accommodation and all that for spectators, but otherwise all the venues are excellent. We're quite impressed with Leo Palace as a possible games village. Has a number of sporting facilities as well.
Defending IFL football champions, the Father Duenas Friars opened up their 2017 season against the JFK Islanders. Straight out the gates, FD's Xavier Napati fields the kickoff here, takes it right up the middle, follows his blocks, and to the house he goes for the touchdown. Friars go up real quick, 7-0, after Giancarlo Abril kicked through the PAT. Abril perfect on the day, kicking for the maroon and gold. JFK stalled on their first couple of possessions, going 3 and out. FD's defense breaking through the line to get stops. Kian Artero went in for a pair of touchdowns that gave the Friars a 21-0 lead. Xavier Napati scored the game's last touchdown off of Daniel Phillips' pass for the 28-0 win. In other games, the Guam High Panthers 8-7 winners over the Teasan High Titans. The Simon Sanchez Sharks shut out the Southern High Dolphins 8-0. The GW and Ukudu game was called off due to uniform issues. The refs decided that it would be a hazard to play the game because both teams wore dark uniforms. The JFK Islanders and Simon Sanchez Sharks met up in Gigo for their IIAAG girls volleyball match. Islanders player Eddie-Ann Sablon tied the game at 7 in the first set with a big kill. The Sharks went up 10-9 a few plays later and never looked back, cruising to a 20-13 lead. The home team closed out the set 25-17. JFK looked more composed as the game went on, diving for balls and communicating with one another. The second set was tied on 4 separate occasions. Up 20-13, the home team called a timeout to try and slow down the momentum by JFK. The Lady Islanders went on to take the set 25-15. JFK jumped out to a 4-0 lead in the third set and led by as much as 10 before the Sharks made a huge rally. Sanchez tied the game at 18, but that was short-lived when JFK responded with 6 straight points. The Islanders took the set and the win 25-20. NFL preseason football, 49ers in Minnesota facing the Vikings. Brian Hoyer, 12 of 17, 176 yards and 2 touchdowns. Long touchdown pass to Marquise Goodwin to get the game started. Carlos Hyde on the receiving end of the second Hoyer touchdown pass. Hyde 3 receptions for 45 yards, 7 carries for 19 yards on the ground. Vikings get the win 32-31. Case Keenum 10 of 14 for 139 yards and 2 scores. Sam Bradford got the start with 134 yards passing for the Vikings in the W. Well, that's going to do it for sports. But before I go, I want to say what's up to my little Nyao Logan. We're back right after this.
Put $500 in your backpack during Nissan's back-to-school relief event. Purchase a new Nissan with payments starting as low as $76 per pay period and get $500 cash back. School supplies, uniforms, lunches, load it all up in a new Nissan, including the kids. With payments starting as low as $76 per pay period and with $500 cash back, you get an A+. For more back-to-school deals, go to NissanGuam.com or see your favorite sales associate at Nissan Upper Tumon.
I'm here to announce the launch of McDonald's new signature sriracha sandwich, and they decided to turn it up. It's topped with crispy onions, fresh baby spinach, and kale. Onions and baby greens. That's not all. They decided to turn it up even more. They created an exclusive sriracha mac sauce with just the right kick of spice. Yeah, but it's here only for a limited time. The McDonald's signature sriracha sandwich. Where are you going?
Are Mom and Dad here yet?
Not yet. We didn't get our lane.
We gotta stop for cash. I forgot my card.
Just use your phone.
Right. Forgot your Bank of Hawaii debit card? No problem. Because now you can get cash with your phone with cardless cash from Bank of Hawaii. Introducing Cardless Cash. Download the Bank of Hawaii app today. Welcome to tomorrow.
Jenny is breaking up with Jason. It's pretty uncomfortable. Jason's filling the void with seasoned beef, hearty potatoes, and warm nacho cheese sauce, bringing some comfort to a very uncomfortable situation.
You are making this uncomfortable, Todd.
How's that feel, Jenny?
Not good.
Not good. Taste the comfort with the new beefy potato Rito, only at Taco Bell.
Go back happy with Triple J. For a limited time, receive a free $500 Kmart gift certificate on selected new vehicles from Triple J Auto Group. Get the car, the savings, and the supplies just in time for school. 0 down and 1.9% financing on top of the class deals like the Kia Sportage at only $161 per paycheck, or the Mazda CX-3 at only $145 per paycheck, or an all-new Ford F-150 for only $266 per paycheck. Get pre-approved instantly at TripleJGuam.com. Trade-ins welcome. Some conditions apply. Stop by today. Triple J Auto Group. Customers first.
Here's our latest round of birthday shout-outs from the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club.
Happy birthday to you, Christine Rosa.
Jacob Zazama, happy birthday to the greatest husband and daddy from your wife, Zayden, Zayani, and Zylea.
Happy birthday to these dingas, Jesse and James Rivera.
John Roy Ungata from Mom, Dad, Nay, Grandma, and Grandpa Ungata, happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, Aiden Tenden McDermott from Mom, Dad, Uncle FL, Taylor, Isaiah, and Jeremy.
And happy belated birthday to Christiana Rose Cabrera. Happy sweet 16th birthday to our princess. Love always, Mom, Dad, Matt, Ethan, Shay, MJ, and the rest of the family.
Remember, you can be part of the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club by registering online on KUAM.com. Please make sure to include with your photo your name and birth date so we can celebrate you.
And of course, a quick shout out to all Lucky 7 who wanted a shout out from those watching us live on Behind the Scenes on Instagram. To Monica, Hector, Davin, Salvation Army at Lighthouse, Lourdes and Greg from New York, Nobi and Stitch, Jenilyn and Janissa, Greg and Natasha Paloma, and Mr. and Mrs. Tyspic from your son, Tyler. He says he knows you're watching.
And that's going to do it for us here on the News Desk. But stay tuned. Here's more with Extra.
Good night.
Brought to you by IT&E Life in Motion.
Holiday, everybody. I'm Jason Salas. Thanks so much for tuning in or streaming our show. Nestor Lecanto, the belated birthday boy, uses his time today to file another Business Matters report.
Business Matters, presented by the Guamanian Magazine.
Guam's foreign labor crisis continues, with the most